Hey, good morning, guys. It's only been 20 days since my last garden tour, but a lot has changed. I thought I would do a quick tour and show you what is blooming now mid-June. The incredible hydrangea has got some beautiful blooms on it. The hostas are still doing great. My little maple has got a lot of shoots popping up the top, which I'm going to be clipping off here soon. And then coming over onto my porch pots, you can see the caladiums are looking good. On this side, the hostas are blooming, and then my Annabelle hydrangea is blooming, and then I've got a summerific hibiscus coming up there. It's a nice pink one. I do need to get out my high pressure hose and clean up this hard water. It looks terrible. The daisy mays are in full bloom. So the alliums are done blooming, but I do like the structure they provide. So I've left the bloom heads there. I've taken the leaves out because they kind of go yellow and look really ugly. Once these start turning brown, I'm going to take them out and dry them for Christmas decorations. So you can see the lemon coral sedum border starting to fill in. I did plant this border finished, so I'm just waiting for that to fill in and look beautiful. And then under this tree, I did buy some white impatiens that I'm going to plant in there. So the sedum autumn joy is looking amazing. My problem is it keeps growing and growing, and here by September it just flops over. It like splays in the middle and it looks terrible. And then I'm trying to tie it up with fishing gut. And so I read online that on the 4th of July you should chop your sedum in half, and then it'll look beautiful by October. So I'm going to try that this year, and I'll let you guys know if it's a good idea or not. And then the serendipity alliums are getting ready to bloom. So my dragon wing begonia hanging basket has filled in beautifully. You can barely see any of the green plastic coming through. See some in the bottom, but backed up you don't see it anymore. My fuchsia hanging basket, it's looking good. I did pinch it back yesterday. I stopped all the ends so that it can thicken up a bit. I like it when my fuchsia hanging baskets are full. The caladiums are looking good. Oh, and my maple has got one little seed pod, so I'm going to try and grow one from seed this year. I'm just going to let that dry out a bit. And then over on this side, I just love using the string of pearls as a trailer. It's so beautiful. And then on this little rack, I've just got some of my basement plants. I've got a string of turtles. This is a string of coins. It grows weird. I don't know if I like this plant. It's just, well, anyway. We'll see what happens. I've got a Hoya linearis, a string of hearts, and this is a Peperomia Hope that I had to cut all the way back. It lost a lot of leaves over the winter, so I'm just going to let that regrow. This is a string of watermelons. I love this plant, it's very beautiful. It's just very slow growing. I've had that for a couple of years and that's it. This is what it's done. So we'll see. Then down here I've got a mistletoe cactus. These are so soft. I love them. And then I've got a Decidia or a Discidia. I don't know how you say it. I've also had this one for many years. It's so pretty. Oh, and it's blooming. Let me show you how sweet the blooms are. And back there is just another ruby necklace and a whole bunch of burrow's tail. And then coming over here, the Brunner has put on some size. These leaves are massive. And then the donkey's tail has started trailing nicely. I really love that look. It looks so pretty. I do need to pinch back the coleus. And then up here is my beautiful burrow's tail. And I can see a propagation lying there. So I'll pop that into a pot somewhere. I've let my wire vine go crazy because I wanted to do a video on how I tie mine up. And coming around this side, the Supertunia persimmon is such a pretty Supertunia. I love those colors. I just put one single plant in the middle and it's huge. It's beautiful. The succulents, you can see the donkey's tail is starting to trail, but they're looking very healthy. We had a lot of rain a couple of weeks back and I did like a makeshift tent. I put like a piece of plastic all the way covering it. You can see I've Jimmy rigged a little tent for my succulent planter. It's supposed to be raining on and off for days now to try and keep them from rotting. The things we do for our plants. This is just a random container. I do love the peach verbena. It's gorgeous. This is the front side of the pot. And then my jellyfish hanging basket, it's starting to come together. The Dichondra Silver Falls is doing really well. It's put on a lot of size. But the Saffron Finch Petunia is taking long to fill in. But I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful once it does. You can see there's still a basket gap over there. But I think here by the end of June, beginning of July, you shouldn't see the hanging basket anymore. These caladiums are stunning. So this corner pot has put on a lot of growth since my last video. The upright elephant ear is finally doing something. The Emerald Falls is trailing beautifully, and you can see the begonias are starting to size up. They look very healthy, they just need to get a bit bigger. There's a whole bunch in there. And a string of pools. Why are you sticky? I don't see any bugs. Oh well, I'll just keep my eye on that. And then down here I've made a whole bunch of fuchsia propagations. I love fuchsias. I think fuchsia is my favorite plant. Maybe, no, I don't know. And I've bought more plants that I don't need. Then coming over here, the begonias are starting to size up. My little pot, I got this from my friend Cindy. It's so cute. And then the pearls. You can see the geranium leaves have finally covered most of the hanging basket, and there's a lot of bloom spikes. Let me show you what it looks like. This is the apple blossom. And then the lobelia is interesting. This is supposed to be a trailing lobelia, but it keeps going up. Let me show you. You can see it just keeps pointing upwards. Anywho, we'll just let it grow and see. It's starting to bloom now. I have stopped cutting it back. So I'm interested to see how this one turns out. And then here's just another random container. You see, I go to the garden center and then I find something as beautiful as that, and then I have to have it. And then I end up with random containers all over the garden. And coming around this side, I've got a pot with supertunias I've never grown before. They're interesting colors, very beautiful. I've got a cake pops purple in the center, and then a couple of verbena on the sides. My wall pots, I removed the caladium. They kept browning and it was frustrating me, so I replaced them with some angelonia. And then I've got 3 garas, white garas in there. You can see they're starting to peek out. I love these warm colors together, and the Sedum Tokyo Sun's incredible. Some of the succulents are blooming. My little cactus display, I've had it in this hypertufa for quite a few years. You can see the pot starting to crack. I haven't changed the soil, I've done nothing with them, and they just keep going. This is my Venus flytrap experiment. I bought these in February. They were on special at Lowe's. They were on the discount rack for $2. So I overwintered them in the refrigerator, and then it looks like they're all doing really well. They've pushed new growth. I do need to trim back some of the dead traps, but I'll see how that goes. These were some leaf propagations. You can see the old leaves. I should probably, oh there we go, probably remove those. Ruby necklace, starting to color up in the center, and then it's got a whole bunch of blooms My little topiary needs a haircut, but it's getting too hot right now, so I'm just going to let it go wild. And then I've got some pearls at the bottom. Got the white impatiens for the front garden. Gonna get those in soon. And then, oh, I got this beautiful hydrangea. I had to have it. I don't know where it's gonna live, but I needed to have it, and I'm glad it's here. Hostas are blooming. I do need to cut some of the begonia back. It's eating up my caladiums. I trimmed back the Bronera bloom, so that looks a whole lot better. And then I brought my rat's tail cactus outside. I've got him hiding in the corner because he does not like the sun. Trimmed back the creeping Jenny. And this hydrangea is still blooming. I should put something in this corner. Coming over on this side, Snowball Viburnum has put on a lot of size. I'm hoping to get it to grow all the way up and then have a beautiful big canopy. If you've ever watched Linda Varda's YouTube channel, in her old house she had a huge Snowball Viburnum. And I'm kind of taking inspiration from her. Serendipity alliums are about to bloom. The Supertunia Bordeaux is filling in nicely. And then I've got some blooms on the Pinky Winky hydrangea. My roses I cut back. They were really pretty. I'll actually insert a clip. The daisy mays are stunning. I was looking at this bed yesterday. I'm going to have the Snowball Viburnum up there. So I want to go and get a perennial grass to put in the back. I need some height back there, and then I've got the Limelight hydrangea on this side, so I think that'll balance it out. So I'll go and get something this week and put it in there. I've got a lemon coral sedum border I just put in there. I had a whole bunch of little sedums popping up from last year, and I removed those and I put them in here. They look a bit sad right now, but I think in a month's time it's going to be stunning. My begonia border is starting to fill in. The Eden climbing roses are doing well. I've had a few blooms. I'll insert a clip here. vegetable garden. Onions are good. I started these Scabiosa from seed. It's the Farmer White and Farmer Blue, so I'm happy that they're doing well. Lisianthus is pretty tall. I've never grown Lisianthus before, so I'm not quite sure what it's going to look like. I think this one's starting to get ready to bloom. Cucumber. My purple bell vine, I put it in the same container as last year. It's just in a new location, but you can see it's starting to climb up the chain and it's trailing over. Got a couple of blooms, and in fact this one's done. I want to raise this basket up somehow. I either need a taller shepherd's hook or I need to shorten the chain, because I'd love for it to crawl along the fence, and then when it's trailing over the basket, you're not going to really see it behind this arborvitae. What is in there? Oh, it's a spider web. So I'll work on that. Nasturtiums have gotten ginormous. And then I've got the Kajari melon in here. You can see it's starting with some blooms. Come back here. Then the zinnia container, put on a lot of size. The dichondra looks good. You can see they're starting to bloom. Tumbling Tom hanging baskets looking amazing. A lot of blooms. I do come out and pat the branches every day. It kind of helps with pollination, and then you end up with a ton of fruit. I am watering these twice a day. They're in a very small soil reservoir. You can see, oops, it's a small little basket. Down here is just a mixed container. I didn't put a centerpiece in this one, and it's actually quite nice. And this is, oh, a Japanese beetle. Where's my water? You gotta go, friend. I know it's cruel, but I always have a soapy water with me and I just drown them quickly. Another mixed container. In this corner, my two zucchinis. I staked them up a couple of days ago. They grow so quickly, oh my word. So the goal is to get them up here and let them trail along the fence in either direction. Potatoes are done blooming. They've set some fruit. You can see they're starting to fall over and yellow, so I'm going to give those another couple of weeks and then I'll be harvesting them, as well as the garlic. I removed their scapes about 2 weeks ago, and you can see the bottoms are starting to brown up, so I think around about 4th of July I'll be harvesting garlic. The snapdragons that I planted from seed are blooming. It's a pretty double flower, very nice. Cucumbers have put on size. This is one of my cilantros that I allowed to go to seed. You can see the little coriander seed starting. It's such a pretty flower. This is just another container. The strawberry hanging basket is putting on a ton of runners. I'm just going to let that keep growing and see what it ends up looking like. So I removed the peas and the pea trellis. I still need to remove the green poles. Tomatoes are looking good. I've got them staked on the string system. I do that every year. These good-hearted tomatoes are incredible. Look at all the fruit on these. The tumbling toms. Got some nice fruits on them. My peppers are also starting to flower. I do the same with my peppers. I just pat them whenever I walk past them. On this side, nothing has changed. I did cut back the oregano and thyme. And then the basil is starting to size up a bit. The chives have come back with a vengeance. Some more succulents. The strawberries are done fruiting for now. It is an ever-bearing variety, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have a couple more harvests yet. Peppers are sizing up. So are the onions. I put in some bush bean seeds not too long ago. They've come up. They look good. And then some beetroot I need to harvest. And then these bottom fence pots, I've just had my sprinklers on, so this side has gotten a bit flattened. They're starting to look really pretty. I have a robin's nest right there in the bottom crook of the tree. So she's very upset with me right now. Sorry, Mama, I'll be quick. I've got my beautiful fuchsia hanging there. I don't want to... Oh, she's coming for me. And then my hanging baskets blooming. Sorry, Mama, I'm moving. And then the caladiums that I removed from those wall planters, I just put here in the shade. Hosta looks amazing. And then my little compost area.